David MacKinnon.
David MacKinnon.
MacKinnon!
非常にいいバッティングをしています。レフトへ伸びていくか、下がって、スライダー、見上げたデビッド・マキノン。
Welcome back to another episode of your favorite podcast tackling all things Japan, Korea, baseball, and everything in between. Welcome to Pacific Swings.
I'm David MacKinnon. Today, we're making Pacific Swings history, if you will. We're having our first guest back on the podcast. However, you guys didn't even get to see our first guest because Jasper didn't press the record button. So,
I mean, it's true in some regard. I did press the record button. We had video recording for the entire chat. And then I come back to the Riverside, the platform we use. Usually they're nice people, so shout out Riverside. Come back to it, and I was like, yeah, no video. And I was like, what do you mean no video? So I called them up, and they was like, yeah, there's just no video. So a bit tragic for those who wanted to see Mr. Enns. But yeah, you're right. You heard that right. He was our first ever guest on Pacific Swings. Now he's our first returning guest. So I'd say the Enns effect is real, people, and we're here for it.
yeah, and for those of you who don't know, I mean, first year Dietrich, long hair. Second year Dietrich and Seibu, short hair. The long hair is back, and he's in the big leagues again. So he was grinding it back. He was grinding it out in Toledo when we first talked to him, AAA, Detroit's team. He had a 2.89, 10.3 strikeouts per inning over 14 starts. He got the call to the bigs, ended up getting either traded or claimed by the Baltimore Orioles, and he's now a bullpen piece for the Orioles right now. So welcome to the show, Dietrich. We missed you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me back. Glad to know that I didn't do poorly enough to not get invited back. So happy to be back.
What a great way to reintroduce yourself. Yeah, glad I wasn't just average, guys. Like glad
I got the invite back.
So let's dive right into this. What happened last time we spoke? You were in Toledo when we talked, working your way back from Korea, hoping for an opportunity. You're giving yourself a good chance for an opportunity with the numbers you were putting up, good starts, good strikeout numbers. You finally get the call up back to the big leagues, not to the big leagues for the first time. What was that like? What'd you feel like what were the feelings like? Was it similar?
I think I got the Pacific Swings boost because I think it was a day or two after that.
Has to be.
We have that effect on people. We have that effect on people.
Yeah.
You know? It's one or the other. It's really one or the other. Really good things happen, or it's just like the complete opposite.
Yeah. But no, it was super special to be back in the big leagues after, spending 3 years in Asia. And just being a starting pitcher that day kind of is planned and knew a little bit in advance. So I got to have a lot of family and friends there. So that was really what made it the most special, and the fact that I did well and then the team won. But just sharing that moment with all my friends and family and have my daughter run around on the field after the game and stuff is just something that is going to stick with me for the rest of my life.
So you would say we were the reason that you got back?
Yeah, definitely. It was the interview I did on Pacific Swings that started the.
Can we get you to sort of clip that? So just to say again, Pacific Swings was instrumental.
Can you say Pacific Swings was instrumental? All Japanese and Korean superstars should come on for an interview at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure it had some effect on how things went that day.
I mean, it's really cool though. And David was probably out there golfing, but I was actually watching because it was, I think it was like a 7:00 start Eastern time. So that equates to, 7:00 here in Europe. So it was an afternoon game, 1:00 start.
Yeah.
But I was watching, and it was something special to watch. 5 innings of shutout bowl against the Athletics. According to MLB.com, it was a 2,877-day gap between MLB starts, which is one of the longest in the century. So let me just say, Pacific Swings, we make miracles happen here.
Yeah, like what are we doing here? Come on now.
But on a slightly serious note, let's talk about the difference though, because if you compare Dietrich,
wait, time out. Can I call a timeout?
No,
please
go on.
2,800 days is like almost 10 years.
That's wrong then.
Yeah, it's got to be wrong.
Well,
MLB.
my last start was in 2017, my debut, and then 2025. So it's probably close to that.
And
They're
that's
talking about starts,
start.
maybe.
Strictly
Yeah,
starts, not
starts.
appearances.
not appearances. Yeah.
David, you're an
Dietrich,
accountant.
you
You're
are-
interrupting the show
Sorry,
for what
sorry.
exactly?
I was just making sure we had the facts right, you know?
Yeah, you're
I
always
don't want to be
fact checking
spewing
stuff.
bad facts. And also, that just like adds to like, yeah. I mean, that's the Pacific Swings boost right there.
Yeah.
Well, you know?
But anyway, David, thanks for the
Sorry.
brief interruption. Yeah,
I only need it every once in a
glad
while.
you're on this show. Yeah. But let's talk about that though, because talk to me about Dietrich back then making his MLB debut versus Dietrich now, returning to MLB, starting pitcher all those years later. When you stepped on the mound in Detroit, did it feel like the same Dietrich, or do you feel like you're fundamentally changed as a pitcher?
Oh, man, it's so much different. It's crazy looking back at like the mechanics of that game, like me pitching in that game, like just all the, kind of the nerves that went into that game, but also just like my stuff is so much better now. Just a lot of the work that I've put in over the years and just kind of the maturity I've gotten as a pitcher to just a lot more confident with my stuff going out there, each and every time now than, what was that 8 years ago, which is just crazy to think about. But it's kind of started that whole journey, but it's kind of led me here to where I am now and just kind of leaned on some of the experiences I've had in the past. But yeah, I feel a lot more confident out there on the mound now than I did back then.
Yeah, I mean, it's just body language, right? So we'll actually play a bit of footage here.
Yes.
Of you entering the field of play at Comerica, and it's just like
Look at that swag.
Look at the swagger going on there. Yeah, I was just about to say, but it's
a little strut.
Body language is everything, though, and I'd actually look back and we'll put some of that footage in of you making your MLB debut. You just seem relaxed, like you just it's just another day in the life of Dietrich Enns, right? Or are we wrong here? Are the nerves all over?
No, I was just, a lot of emotions went into the day in Detroit, just like, making my way back. But like once the first pitch happens, then it's like, it's just game on and you're just settling in and, leaning on the experience that you have of, pitching and executing pitches at a high level. And really that my focus was just really there solely.
Packed house there, huh?
Yeah, a little Wednesday afternoon day game is maybe not as the best attendance, but Detroit does get a lot of good fans. So
No, they do.
They have great fans, and day games, midweek day games are tough, because people have work and stuff like that. But,
no one's watching except Europeans because it's the only time we get to watch.
Yeah. I definitely had a whole fan section of friends and family that were there, so they were probably the majority of the fans.
Saw that. I think your brother was interviewed live on TV, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was his 15 seconds of fame, but he did a great job. So it's cool to see him get interviewed.
We can make this into a family thing. Your brother can come on the show. We'll give him at least 30 seconds, easy.
Will he sponsor us? Does he want to sponsor our show?
And he might. I'll have to ask him.
But I think more importantly, I just ask you about, the fact that you've obviously changed as a player. You've seen a lot of different, hitters come up. You've seen a lot of different environments. You've pitched in a lot of different environments. What's changed about you as a person? Because I know a lot of what you, sort of go through on a day-by-day basis is also going to be led by your faith. But I'm just sort of interested in, how is Dietrich Enns the person developed in all those years?
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, my faith has grown stronger in God and just, rely on him for a lot of confidence. But then just also becoming a father too, it kind of shifts your perspective on the game. Back in 2017, your focus is more just on baseball and the outcomes of the games and you're riding the highs and lows of it. But, now it's, you shift your perspective as a father and, your daughter's happy to see you, whenever you come home and stuff. So it doesn't matter how you did. She just wants to run and play on the field after the game. So it kind of changes things a little bit. So it takes a lot of the pressure off in the games and you just go out there and have fun and enjoy the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great answer. I feel like, too, just like with me, once I had my first kid, 2022, I was in AAA. We had our first kid in spring training that year and felt like I really had to kind of a difference. Like all of a sudden my mind kind of changed where it was like, all right, like baseball's what I'm doing. Like I don't have to like once I leave the field, like I'm done. I'm dad, I'm a husband, which I already had that kind of being a husband for a while. But once you really adopt that, like you don't take your bad day home and it becomes a lot easier to get over the good stuff and the bad stuff. Cause you also don't want to take your good stuff home too and be like, I'm the best and not gonna help out around or do anything because
I'm not gonna do the dishes. I hit 2 tanks today.
Yeah, that wouldn't happen to me, but like for some people that do, they might feel that.
No, yeah, for sure. I feel that. Yeah, it just helps you move on from the game and kind of get not have to think about it as much when you're at home, and you can kind of focus on your family. And then at the field, you really kind of prioritize what you got to do that day to get better, and so you really just are able to compartmentalize your time.
Yeah. So you've now attacked hitters in the NPB, KBO, and obviously the MLB again, AAA as well. Break down the differences for us as fans, as players. I mean, I played obviously in all 3 of those leagues too. Break down the differences and how you would go about kind of attacking each player in each league, like the typical player in each league.
Yeah, I'll start with MLB. Just there's a lot of slugs, so you're trying to stay away from like some of the down and in, like the loop, because that's where a lot of guys' hot zones are, because they can like lift the ball there. So you really want to kind of move it in and out, up and down, down and away, up and in, things like that. And just mixing speeds is good, but just really trying to throw stuff that you'll get them to swing and miss and chase and stuff like that. Whereas Japan, there's a lot of more contact and there's not as much of a strike zone at the top of the zone, so guys have a little bit flatter swings, so they can kind of get to those higher pitches, but they're also not chasing theirs as much. So you have to really rely on like timing differences, like in your own mechanics, and also just the speed of the pitch to get guys out and to get guys to hit the ball weakly. And then Korea is kind of like a hybrid of both. Like you get some slug, and then so you can throw stuff that's more swing and miss, and then there's also guys that are contact, so that are going to grind out some at bats. So you kind of have to take hitter by hitter in that league as well. So it's kind of a mixture of both, I would say, in the KBO.
Cool. Now, and I think, I mean, especially in Japan, it just feels like the baseball's being played at such a different sort of technique, different level, just different. We've had a few pitchers also on this show now at this point, including yourself, obviously, and it's like there's guys in the lineup in Japan just there to foul off balls. Like it's just they're just there to make sure that the at bat takes as long as possible. But I've also been impressed by some other hitters in Japan who are just they're able to hit for a bit of power, but also able to stay in at bats. Like they'll never have an at bat where it's like 3 or 4 pitches. Literally, it's always going to be 8 or 10, and it's just they're just there to frustrate the pitcher, and they can hit for a bit of power. So I think that's quite a unique skill set in its own. But since we have a video, well, at least we hope we have video at the end of this episode.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. We never know. We thought we'd play a bit more Dietrich Enns baseball on this podcast. Because, don't sue us, MLB, but he's Dietrich Enns, 8th inning, playing the Philadelphia Phillies. Starting order coming up, 1 of 4. Trey Turner hits a double of you. Up next, Kyle Schwarber, then Bryce Harper, then Nick Castellanos. So
Sword.
let me get a penny for your thoughts here, Dietrich, or is it just strike everyone out?
By you.
It was not expecting to come in and strike everybody out. How I did, but
just look.
After Trey doubled to lead off the inning, it was just Schwarber was on deck, and he had a really good series, and he's been having an incredible year. So I was just trying to get ahead of him because like he can really box you in if you fall behind, and he can do some serious damage. So was just trying to get ahead and execute a good pitch, and was able to get to 2 strikes and then execute a good slider there. So got him, and then with Harper just tried to mix it up and keep him on his toes, not get too predictable. And then Castellanos just kind of locked him up there at the end. I don't know. I know he's a super aggressive guy, so
yeah.
Thought you'd be swinging at that last pitch, but I knew he'd be swinging early, especially with the guy in runners in scoring position. So Yeah, just try to execute one pitch at a time. Didn't try to like get too far ahead of myself or, be like, all right, I got to strike on the side now that there's a leadoff double. It's, we had a little bit of a lead. I think the score was 5-1 at the time. So like you just want to go right after guys there. And if you give up one there, that's, it is what it is, but you don't want to like walk a guy and then give up a double and then give up a single. And then all of a sudden they pop you for a 2-run homer and all of a sudden the game's tied. So just going right after guys has always been my mentality, no matter the score, but especially, when you're up there in the eighth, and try not to look at the name on the back and just kind of look at it like left-handed hitter versus right-handed hitter and just go out there and do my job is the simplest way to put it. And the best thing for me mentally to just kind of go and attack guys.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I know when I got to the big leagues, I wasn't really there obviously long enough. Dietrich's been there a little bit longer. He's got a little bit more. He's seen a little bit more. He's wiser. He's a little bit older, a little bit wiser. But I always found that like
Much wiser.
much wiser, so much wiser. I always found, dude, it's like I don't know how long it would take for you to be in the big leagues and for you to like feel like you never like we all know whose name's on the back of the jersey, So it's like, all right, I gotta like you know what I'm saying? Like it's tough to like forget and just treat him like he's just a regular guy.
I mean, it's Bryce Harper, so
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, yeah, Bryce Harper was up against me, I'd be pretty scared. But as you're in the big leagues, he's in the big leagues. You got the stuff to pitch in the big leagues. He's got the stuff to hit. He's just a good big leaguer, and you just got to execute. And I want to put in perspective, I faced Dietrich. People don't just take fastballs that are like middle away at just above the knees. Like Castellanos got frozen there because Dietrich has an elite fastball. Like it rides up. It has late life. That probably looked like it was mid shins on him, and it just wasn't because Dietrich's fastball has just that life to it. So for all you people that are like, why wouldn't you swing at that? It's because it doesn't look like a strike. And then you guys are like, why are you swinging at that? It's like, well, it looked like a strike and then it wasn't a strike. Like, we don't try to swing at pitches that aren't strikes. We don't try to chase pitches that hit the dirt. We don't try to take pitches middle away that we should have hit. Like hitting's hard and they're nasty. And that's why I'm here.
That's that tunneling effect that you try to have as a pitcher is just to, make your strikes look like balls and balls look like strikes. And, that's kind of the cat and mouse game of a pitcher and a hitter. So that's really all I'm trying to do out there is, attack guys and then, make pitches look, similar.
Yeah. The unfortunate part is as a hitter, we're the mouse usually. We're usually not the cat. So we hope that they make a mistake and they haven't tunneled us so good that we can't pull a trigger, and we hope that there's a pitch that we think we can hit. But the result is they know so much information now, and they just know how to attack us as hitters, and we do as best a job as we can to kind of make our weaknesses not so weak. But that's hard, and if they attack your weaknesses, it's tough. You got to know your weaknesses, know what the pitcher's trying to do, and hope they make a mistake, and then just execute. The best players execute on the mistakes the most. That's kind of the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
Hitting 101 with David MacKinnon here. Yeah, that was
sorry.
Good little segment. Yeah, it's
all
fine.
Right. I'm done. I'll be quiet now.
So Dietrich, you've gone from being a starter the majority of your career to now working out of the bullpen with Detroit and Baltimore. What's the most important change that you've had to make, either mentally or physically?
Yeah, just a little bit with the routine. You're playing catch every day, just trying to be as fresh as you can. Whereas as a starter, you know exactly what day you're going to pitch, so you can kind of build off that routine. You can have lighter days, you can have heavier days. So building like the routine of throwing, and then like off the field, like in the weight room, just trying to plan your lifts and your arm care stuff around that. Just to make sure that you're maximizing your energy and your output like each and every day. So, and both places have done a great job with me, letting me know, when I'm available and to be ready and kind of go into certain spots. And it's still and in the bullpen, you never really know the exact moment you're going to go in the game. So you kind of have to gauge that, like just depending on how the game's going. So mentally, you just try to stay loose, but at the same time, like, locked in for the call to the bullpen when it's your turn to go in.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough. It's tough to go from one spot that you used to another spot, especially midseason. That's just very hard. But I mean, this show's not called Atlantic Swings, this show's called Pacific Swings. So let's go back to Japan and Korea. You miss their baseball fans? Like, how much you miss it? How much you miss the atmosphere in the stadiums, the electricity that they bring? Give it to us.
Yeah, no, any day of the week, the fans were electric, both places in KBO and the NPB. So the fans always brought the energy. So that was awesome to have as a player out on the field. Like you could feel, any base runner was momentum towards the team. So credit to their fans for just being so loyal and supportive. And it's super cool to see all the jerseys in the stands. Like, and they're getting the jerseys for the summer jerseys, like with the Lions, like they have the summer jerseys every year, which
They're
are
sick.
new every year, and they're always really cool, and the fans love that. So just really special for the fans, and the interaction between players and fans is really a lot different over there, where they have a lot more access to the players, and it's really cool, because they're very supportive, and they're always looking for a photo or an autograph, but you're happy to do it because like of how supportive they are.
Absolutely. And how much of a difference is it though to sort of pitch in that? Can you sort of hear yourself think more when you're pitching at an MLB stadium versus Japan or Korea?
I've kind of blocked everything out for a long time,
Yeah.
like probably since like little league, like when my mom was in the stands, like I couldn't even hear her like screaming with like 8 people there. When I'm out on the mound, I'm kind of just focused on the catcher and the hitter, and like I think that's just something I've learned a long time ago. Just kind of focus, like kind of have like tunnel vision there. So that's kind of helped me just focus on like taking it one pitch at a time.
Do you have any funny fan experiences that you can recall from Japan or Korea? Like anything that was out of the ordinary or just like kind of cool that you got? Anything like that?
I mean, just the coolest thing was like taking the train home after games with fans. Like sometimes they wouldn't recognize you, but then like if they did, like, they get so excited and want like a picture. And so that was always really cool too. You're kind of staying in your own lane on the train, just maybe with headphones in or something like that. But if you could kind of feel the fans like kind of creeping up on you, knowing that like they recognize you. So, and then they're like, they want a picture or a photo, but like, that was always
Yep.
cool.
That was it was cool.
To see the looks on the kids' faces, like when you sign something for them or take a picture, it makes their day, and it's really just something special. I
It
always
was
enjoyed doing that, and I would be sometimes get recognized even in like downtown Tokyo,
yeah.
a Lions fan, and they'd be like, Enns, like, and I'll be like, yeah, yeah, and so they're like,
Yep.
they immediately want to take a photo. So it was really something that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I always thought it was funny because when we were on, I mean, obviously you were starter, so you weren't always on the trains after the games back.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, during the, I mean, halfway through the year, I was like, all right, let's see how long it will take someone to notice, and like I'd wear my hat down a little bit and see if they notice. And I was always caught before I got onto the train. Like I'm walking
Yeah,
through, and you
yeah,
just get caught, and it's like all of a sudden you hear MacKinnon, and I'm like, and MacKinnon, and I was like, oh yeah,
yeah,
I got to catch this train, guys. I got to go. I got 2
yeah,
minutes. And they're like, sign. I'm like, I
yeah.
will in the train. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I missed a train one time because I was signing autographs and they
Yeah.
felt bad,
Yeah.
but I was like,
It's so
"It's all
hard.
right." In Japan, it's okay because like the next train is in like 3 minutes, so you don't
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
worry
Yeah.
too much
Yep.
about that. So no, that was yeah, I can feel that.
It was just so funny. I could just see both of you scrambling for trains when it's
Yeah.
like,
Like I'd be signing stuff and taking pictures outside the stadium for like 10 minutes probably till my train got there. And then I'd be like, guys, like I got to go. And then when I
Hmm.
get on the train, you just restart doing it again, you know?
Hmm. Yeah.
And you're walking down as far as you can to the end of the train to see if there's like a little bit less people at the train. But then every person every door you walk by, they're like, he's pointing at
Yeah.
you. It was
Hmm.
really funny. It was fun.
Yeah.
they just stand out. You just like, I think either of you, there's not people living there that look remotely like you. So you just sort of stand out. But since we're talking about Japan, or since we're talking about NPB, Dietrich, which current NPB pitcher do you foresee having the biggest success in the MLB in the next couple of years? Obviously, we don't want to speculate on this podcast too much about who's getting posted, who's not getting posted, but
Yeah.
you can name names, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm probably a little biased because, my time with Seibu, played with some really outstanding pitchers. They have I'd say probably 3 or 4 guys that have a chance to, make an impact at the major league level. With right now, Imai is, having an unbelievable season. Ira he could be a starter or a reliever. He throws, 100 miles an hour, and he's got a 5 pitch mix. Ona Takahashi, he was, kind of our pitching captain there when I was there, and had some really great seasons. He's just a big, durable pitcher, so he can kind of do it all. And then Sumida is really coming to his own, with a good mix there too. So the Lions really have a really great pitching staff. So I think those four guys can all make an impact at the MLB level. I've been out of the league for a couple of years now, but I would say probably Ito from the Fighters is probably pretty good. He's having a really good
nasty.
season. He was always,
very good.
pitched well against us. And then the Buffaloes have, Miyagi, who is, just a great pitcher. He, has a great mix and can really change speeds. And, he's got some velo too. Shunpei Yamashita, I was really impressed with him when he was young. I haven't been keeping tabs on him lately, but I know from the stuff I saw when I was there, he had some electric stuff with a good fastball, good curveball, good split. So I could see all those guys making the jump to MLB and making an impact right away.
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much named every single good pitcher, which is pretty good. I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm
we
more
left out
biased
a
with
couple.
the Pacific League than
Yeah,
the
for
Central
sure.
League.
I mean, you only saw
Yeah.
the
We all are. So
Central
it
League.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
I know.
Yeah.
We would
Yeah.
love to get some Central League players on here, so
Yeah.
we'll work on that. But it is funny you said Ito on the Fighters. Yeah, I always pitch good against us. I'm like, dude, I felt like every single guy pitched good against us. Like, I know they're good, but I felt like they always had their best game against the Lions. Maybe we're just
Yeah.
not as good at hitting. I don't know, Maybe we just weren't as good at hitting as other teams.
Yeah.
But I felt like everyone just shoved against us, and I was like, did that guy just pitch the career game again? And it's like every single time we face someone, it was like career game. It's like boom, boom, boom. Maybe it was an us problem and not a them problem.
Probably it's just you.
Like,
yeah.
You gotta do better at hitting, Dave.
Yeah, David, just
we
hit
did
the
not.
ball.
We
It's
did.
right
There was
there.
not much run support for the Lions the year we were there.
Yeah,
or I was
2023,
there.
no.
Yeah,
no,
there was not much run
and
support.
2024 was even worse. Thankfully, it's picking up quite a bit. 2025, but yeah, I do remember watching some games 2023 where it felt like, oh, here's this rookie making his debut, and it's like, oh, 8 innings shutout, and it's like, what? And it just breezes through the game as well.
No,
like,
and they were just like, it would be like first pitch, second pitch outs, like quick.
Yeah,
dude, just
quick
breezes
outs,
through the game, and then we find out the kid's actually pretty good, but we were the ones that debuted against them. We're like, actually, kid's kind of nasty, but we.
I think it's true though. I think I remember something about that season where it felt like pitchers were making either the second start, third start, and they were just shoving, and it was just
Shunpei
Yamashita.
Yamashita. They're like, yeah, he didn't throw that hard last year. He added some velo this year. He comes out the gate like 96 to 100 with a banger, and then we thought we were getting a break because Yamamoto and Miyagi were still at Team Japan's WBC thing, and no, there was no break. It was just Yamashita throwing absolute fireballs at us.
Yeah, I think he struck out 12 guys, and I was like, that's not normal for a rookie, a 20-year-old kid.
And no one even. I don't even think anyone hit a barrel off.
Yeah, no, he's insanely talented, and it just speaks testament to how many pitchers are over in Japan that we have absolutely no knowledge about, and they're gonna probably be in MLB in a few years' time, and everyone's gonna go, "Wow, he's so good," and we're like, "Yeah,
there's gonna be more.
Good.
There's gonna be more and more Japanese pitchers coming over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. They're just they're so good.
So what about hitters, though? Is there any hitter that you can see making the jump to MLB in the next? I know there's rumored to be a few of them being posted in the next couple of years, but anyone from your perspective, Dietrich, that you see making that jump?
Probably, Murakami is the big name that's probably going to come over here soon. And my first year in Japan, he had an incredible Triple Crown season, hit 56 homers. It was I was like, oh my gosh. And he's 21 at the time. I was like, this is incredible. So he, I could see him coming over, but as far as one of the best hitters that I've faced in Japan, Kondo, is, just, he's got power. He's got one name I'd like to see is Yanagita. I'd love to see what he would be like in the MLB.
Yeah,
he's just a really good player and a fan favorite over there and one of the best NPB players of all time. So that would be really cool to see him make the transition. But who's to say what's going to happen with those guys?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see Yanagita and Kondo. Those are two guys where I wish they would come over. I just don't. At this point in their careers, I just don't know if it's going to happen for them because they're just getting older. I think Yanagita's contract's over when he's 37, and then Kondo's over when he's 35, 36. So that would be tough. But The other guy that I think is super impressive is Sato on Henshin. I think he's got the best swing.
Yeah.
He's so
Yeah.
good, dude.
Yeah.
We obviously
I
didn't get
have
to
seen
face
his
him
swing.
that
Yeah,
much,
it's
but
good.
his
Yeah.
swing is so good. But yeah, what are your goals beyond this season? You're back on the show, obviously, so that's obviously was the main goal to get back. Where's the story go from here?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, the biggest goal is just to stay healthy and just see how, keep playing at a high level as long as I can. That's really my goal going forward, is just to keep pitching. Who knows what role it'll be in? I like that I'm in a versatile role, can start, can be like a long guy out of the pen, can pitch late in games too. So just to try, be as versatile as I can and really help teams win. And I'd love to pitch in the playoffs here. That'd be, something super fun. Got a taste of the playoffs in Japan and Korea. So that was really cool experiences for me, just to experience the atmosphere and just kind of like the energy that goes into that. So I think leaning on some of those experiences has helped me coming back. So to experience the playoffs would be something that, I would love to do at some point in my career.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I would have been the playoffs in Korea, but you know what happened. Anyway. All right, now for the important question, let's lighten this mood up a little bit. So when are you going to sponsor Pacific Swings? Because clearly we've been instrumental in your success. The evidence is overwhelming. We're not asking for much, just a monthly stipend from whatever your paycheck is on a monthly basis, okay?
Just a small 1%.
Yeah, just a fee.
See,
We'll tack it onto your agent
we'll
fee
take
after.
it. I
It'll
mean-
be your Pacific Swing fee.
It helps keep the lights
I can-
on. So
if I can keep throwing up zeros, then we'll see. We'll see what happens in the future.
Like, it'll be the Baltimore Pacific Swing patch right here.
yeah, be great if we
That's
get
funny.
there. Yeah. In all seriousness, though, Dietrich, what advice would you give other players, sort of grinding it out as you were, who are hoping for their own little Pacific Swings boost?
Yeah, just stick with it. Continue to work hard. Find areas where you can improve. I think that's helped me over the years, is just, get incrementally better over the years, and you kind of keep stacking up and do your best to stay as healthy as you can. Because when you're out there competing is when you're learning the most about yourself and what you need to do to get better. So those are two things that I take really seriously, is just, my health and trying to take care of my body, and then just finding ways to improve. And I found that over the years, I've just gotten a lot better the older I've gotten, just, mentally, but also physically, and just movement wise. I just feel like in a good spot and want to continue that. I've been in a spot where it was tough to play catch, because my shoulder was aching so much. So like I'd have to sit in the hot tub for a while just to get loose. And then so that's not a fun spot to be in. So just finding ways that you can stay healthy, and then you can really just start to improve a lot more.
Yeah, that's some great advice, actually. People don't realize the health behind it. But all right, we're
Yeah.
introducing a new segment here. Rapid fire questions. Welcome to the hot seat, Dietrich Enns.
All
right. The rules are, we're going to ask you some questions. You got to answer it off the top of your head as quickly as possible. Not too long of an answer.
No
okay?
breaks.
Just one
You
word
get
answers?
No breaks.
Also, I only have 3 questions in front of me, so I'm just going to be making some questions up. All right.
All right.
It might be baseball related. It might not. All right.
All right. Here
You
we
get to
go.
play one more season internationally anywhere in the world. Could be winter ball, could be Asia. Where would it be?
I'd love to go back to Japan.
Bang.
Good question. Yep, bang. Cause see, he's getting it. All right, that's perfect. Toughest hitter you've ever faced in your life?
Toughest hitter. Vlad Guerrero.
Senior or junior?
It's not that old.
Your favorite all-time baseball moment?
Man, that's a tough one. There's so many to go through. But probably, like personally, just probably the game that I pitched in Detroit about a month ago, just because of being, sharing it with all the friends and family that I had.
Yeah. Totally makes sense.
15 seconds of fame for your brother.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
really
you did
cool.
everything. Yeah.
You could only watch one more TV show for the rest of your life. Which would it be?
Breaking Bad,
Favorite baseball movie?
The Sandlot.
Favorite teammate of all time?
Man, that's tough. I can't name just one.
Feelings will
there's
potentially get hurt.
Don't care.
Yeah. I'll
We
say
don't
not
care on this
Dave.
one.
Not Dave.
No,
Not
no.
Dave.
It's not me.
No,
It's not
Dave.
me. Just a big me guy over here. Does
Not
not care
Dave.
about the team.
Not Dave sounds like a guy who could hit
Not
homers.
Everyone but Dave.
Best stadium you've ever played in?
Playing at Wrigley was really special. Just being from Chicago is something, I always dreamed of. So that was a dream come true to pitch there.
All right. If you could have, I don't know how this would happen, but I don't know. If you only had one meal left in your whole life, what would it be?
Either sushi or steak and potatoes.
We're talking like Japanese sushi, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not the Americanized version of sushi.
Yes.
How about steak and potato and sushi just all at the same time, right? That sounds like
That's
it.
one.
Sounds great.
That sounds like something.
Last one. Last food question there. Follow-up food question on the hot seat. What type of steak? What's your choice of steak? How do you order it?
I usually order a fillet. I've been going with fillets lately, so fillets just medium, cooked medium rare.
Medium rare. Yeah, I feel like that's the only way to eat a steak. Like,
Well, to eat a fillet, that's definitely the only way.
I went out with a guy who's like, "I'm gonna order it well done." I'm like, that's just unacceptable.
You left that dinner, right?
I
You
did.
left that
Yeah,
dinner?
I said we can't be friends. I'm sorry.
No, it's just more like safety for you.
Yeah.
He might kill you after he eats his well done steak and then murders Jasper. Golly.
So, Dietrich, really the last question here. You can only listen to one song to hype you up before a game. What are you listening to?
Man.
Let's go, MacKinnon.
One song. I'd say, my walk-up song is Oxygen by Dirty Heads. I really like that song. Just kind of like puts me at a nice little level of like pumped up, but also like kind of chilled out.
I think that's. And another question that pops into my head. If you could play an instrument well, I don't know if you play any instruments. First, do you play any instruments?
I grew up playing the piano and the trumpet. My dad was a band teacher, so me and my brothers all learned how to play both. My aunt taught us piano, and then my dad taught us the musical instruments. So grew up playing trumpet and piano, but I'd love to like relearn how to play the piano. I kind of stopped playing it once I started playing sports growing up, and be cool to have that skill again.
If you weren't a professional baseball player right now, what would you be doing?
One.
Maybe coaching, or I don't know. I don't know what else. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Pacific Swings co-host.
Come, John. There's always a seat for you here.
Pacific Swings sponsor.
Yeah. Oh, like that. I'm a big fan.
I
of
like
that.
the ring of that.
I like the ring of that.
Get a nice
Yeah.
Dietrich Enns logo.
We'll put it. I don't care. We'll put
That's
it
funny.
everywhere. Just we'll wear branded T-shirts, everything. Like we'll go fully on the Dietrich Enns train. Listen,
That's
Dietrich,
funny.
this is fantastic. I hope the video turns out. I hope we have video.
Yeah.
Thanks again for coming on again and again. And if you pay us enough money, we'll definitely rebrand it to the Dietrich Enns Show, the Dietrich Enns Appreciation Society. I don't care. Anything you want, mate.
Dietrich Enns Fans Club.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, thanks for having me again. It was, a pleasure to be back, and I really enjoyed listening to all the episodes that you have with all the guests, and I'm excited for more guests on the show.
Appreciate it. So that's another episode of Pacific Swings. First video episode that works with Dietrich. First returning guest.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. We
still don't know. We thought we executed
at
this
this
last
moment of
too.
time. We don't know.
We don't know yet.
Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, good things happen to those who appear on Pacific Swings. The data does not lie.
For the most part. But yeah, hey, go follow, go subscribe to us. We're on kind of a kick. We're moving up, so we need your help.
Yep. Thank you.
Go Orioles.
Go Dietrich.
As hard as that is to say, because I was a Sox guy growing up, but go O's, because
Let's
go
go.
Dietrich.
Cheers, buddy.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.